you doing? Happy to see you all here.
Good morning, ma'am. Oh, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Okay, I'll share the screen. Give me 1 minute. Okay. So I hope you know that this is the last lecture and we are going to cover many topics, but there are chances that I may not execute the things today and I'll give you the idea of what are these topics are all about and you can execute them, because when you are going to do the data analytics or data maybe visualization or maybe machine learning or data science in the later part of your life, okay, that time the things that I would be telling you about, okay, that would be useful for you. So I may not get time to execute the things because there are 4 or 5 topics I'm going to cover today, but the thing is, yeah, you will understand some part of it. To be very frank, it is difficult to take so many topics in one go, but there was a need of taking this, so I'm here. Okay. I hope there are no doubts and you don't want to say anything to me. Do you want to talk to me? Do you want to ask me anything? Do you have any doubts? Or shall I start?
Start, ma'am.
You can start,
Okay.
ma'am.
Sure. Thank you so much. I hope my screen is shared and you can hear me. So we are going to talk about the final lecture, which is consisting of files, exceptions, OOPS concepts, modules, libraries, and debugging. I hope you know that the file handling is everywhere in every programming language. I don't know whether you have done C or Java or any other programming, JavaScript, any other programming language or scripting language before, but the file handling is the one which is very important. You can make use of the files that are SQL files or maybe the CSV files or Excel sheets or maybe SQLite. Okay, so there is a Python MySQL or Python and SQLite connection, that is PyMySQL. By using PyMySQL, and you can understand that, but obviously that particular topic hasn't been given over here. You can do you can do that on your own. Okay. So whenever you are using the files, fine, then that time obviously you need to get the data from the file or from the backend. Now I hope you know, remember we had talked about the backend and the front end in one of the lecture. I do remember. I don't know whether you remember it or not. So the files can be the text files or the binary files or the CSV files or the Excel sheets or maybe the JSON files, or they can be the MongoDB files also. Okay, so they are the document oriented files, because whenever we are talking about the WhatsApp data or whenever we are talking about the Instagram data or something like that, the data is not stored in the SQL format, that is row and column, but it is stored in the document oriented databases, that is using maybe MongoDB or maybe some other software. Okay, but yes, we are able to connect it in our Python and to get the data from there and do the analytics. So file handling is very important. I hope you understood what am I saying. And for that, file input output operations are also very much important. In addition to that, whenever you are talking about the file handling, okay, there are chances that you are getting the errors, but you don't want to show those errors to your client. Okay, why would you be showing them? Because it means that it hasn't been tested properly. Okay, so you should understand what type of error it is coming and how to execute that particular program in such a way that those exceptions will handle those errors. Okay, because here we are talking about somewhere here we are talking about the debugging and testing also as the last topic on the right hand side. Okay, so whenever you are giving the software to your client, once your software is made, suppose you are developing the software as a part of your internship, say in some organization or in some company, or maybe you are developing the softwares for your friend's business or your business at home, maybe. Okay. And you are going to write down the programs using Python, and you are going to execute them along with MySQL or SQLite or JSON or whatever. Okay. Or whatever, MongoDB. Fine. But then there are chances that the error might come. Okay. How to handle those errors is done by the exception. Then there is one important aspect of programming is object-oriented programming. We have done up till now the what are the programming paradigm? Okay, we have used this structured programming. Okay, but object-oriented is the one where Python is allowing us, or it allows us, okay, to write down the program in a structured manner, even for the websites, wherever you want to you want to design the web pages along with the JavaScript or any other such scripting language, and the object-oriented programming also. In addition to that, modules and packages. Yes, we have talked about the module as a math module. You might know that NumPy and the Pandas are the modules that are very essential for data analytics and visualization. Okay. Sometimes you need to install them. Sometimes you don't need to install them because they come automatically with your Python software whenever you have installed that. Whenever you are installing that particular software, for example, do you remember we had used Jupyter Lab and then pip installed Jupyter Notebook? We had done that, if you all remember. And if you have done that at the time when I spoke to you about how to open the Jupyter Notebook, and then I suppose you had learned it from me, you can write it down in the chat. I don't mind at all. I will read it in some time. So these are the modules and the packages which we are installing using pip, or that is Python installer packages. Okay. In addition to that, we can get them automatically along with our Python programming, like that, for example, data, math. Okay. But NumPy Pandas, yes, we need to execute them. We need to install them from outside. Then debugging and testing. So I told you that whenever you have a software, okay, whenever you have executing it, okay, and it's time now to give it to your client. Fine. So then that time, what is happening there? You are talking about, I'm just checking the messages also if there are any messages or the doubts. No, they are not. Okay. So whenever you want to give it to your client, then they have to be tested properly, and then they can be given it to the client. Okay, so that comes under debugging and testing. And in one of the lecture, I told you about white box testing, black box testing, alpha testing, beta testing. So whenever the code is developed at the developer site, okay, then that time it's alpha testing. But whereas whenever it is given to the client to just have a look and find out how it is working on his system, okay, or in his environment, then that time it is known as the black box testing. Sorry, it is known as the beta testing. Whenever you talk about the white box testing, that is whenever you talk about writing down the code, okay, and you want to find out the bugs in them. Okay, that is the white box testing. Whereas whenever you are talking about the GUI, okay, you must have heard about Tkinter. Okay, Python Tkinter. Fine. That is GUI programming. Along with that SQL. That was actually I could have taught you that, but obviously because of your time schedule, it is not possible for you to attend the sessions. I can understand that. Okay, so all these things come under debugging and testing. Yeah, you can go through this. So now when you talk about the file handling, okay, so file handling is something like you need to open a file, you need to read the data, you want to write the data into it and close the file. So now whenever you are working on the files, okay, forget about Python files. Think about your Notepad file. Think about your Word document. Think about your PPT file, that is PowerPoint presentation file. Okay, PPTX, PPT, docx, dot, okay, etc. So what do? You open the file first. If the file contains something, then you read the data. You want to make the modifications, you write into it, and then you close, and then you must be sharing it with your friend or maybe teacher or something like that. Fine. So here there are different functions that are there, that is open, read, read line and read lines. Okay. Write and write lines and close. Okay. So these are very important to know. So here you can see, so these are the different modes that are very important. That is read, write, append, binary. And whenever you want the file to be created for the first time, that is X. Okay. If the file is not there, then the file, it would show that the file is not present. What are you writing into? What are you reading? What are you reading from? Something like that. So there are different, you have to open that particular file. So I'm going to write it down, say f equal to open in bracket parenthesis, double quotes, file name, comma, double quotes, my mode. Okay, mode of the file, read. I want to read it for the first time. I want to write into it, something like that. Here, different syntax has been used. So there are 2-3 syntax in this manner. So with open, file name. But this is the quicker one, faster one from execution's point of view than the one which I said to you just now. So content equal to file.read, and you can display the contents in the same manner. You can write into the file. Okay. So whenever you are going to open read and read line, right? So you are going to open, that's what I talked about, this particular syntax. Okay. So here the file is suppose there in your Python folder, wherever your Python is installed, and you can give that particular path by giving say c:// program file / whatever. Okay. And then file name and .txt you need to give, or whatever the file name you are going to read, and open it in such a way that open that particular file in a read manner. Okay. So here, whenever you are going to say this, okay, you can display the contents in this manner. But in the same manner, you can write into the particular, you can write into this particular file. So W or A or X. So overwrite that particular file or write it to that particular file. You may append, you have heard about append from me. We have learned about this append in list. We have learned about this append in dictionaries also. Tuples don't allow us to append. Okay. So I hope you remember. Fine, because they are immutable, right? So there also there are chances that you can make use of certain mode, that is write or append or executable, okay, or generate the file, you can use them. You can use the binary files also, not an issue. Okay. So you need to use their maybe the PNG file or maybe JPG file, and then write down RB, that is reading the binary. Fine. And then that's what I said, JPG or PDF or zip. Okay. So there you are going to make use of the mode as B, that is B for binary. Fine. So that was all about the file handling. You will need to practice it. I'm not saying that the thing I have taught you, but I'm just giving you the idea, because I told you in the beginning of the lecture that it's really impossible to tell you all these things in one lecture. Okay. Now we are going to talk about the exceptions. So exception is something, right, is something like runtime event. Okay. That is handled by the user or the programmer in Python. So Python raises exception when it encounters a situation such as invalid operation. Now, which can be the invalid operation? We just talked about the file handling. For example, there is some file, say x.doc or x.txt. Okay, I'm not talking about the x as mode. I'm talking about x as a file name. Forget about x as a name, xyz.txt. That would be better. Okay, xyz.txt, I'm saying read it for me. So I gave that particular function, say f equal to open parenthesis, double quotes, xyz.txt. I hope you can visualize, because I am also not reading from anywhere. Okay, I know this very well. I have taught it so many times. I have executed this so many times. That's why I do remember all this syntax. Sometimes I don't. That's the other part of the story. So I give in the parenthesis double quotes xyz.txt double quotes comma, in double quotes R as a read mode and double quotes complete and parenthesis complete. if I'm saying read the file xyz.txt, and if it is not present only, and I have given the mode as R, okay, then that time it would be an invalid operation, right? In the same, or missing file, we can say. In the same manner, if suppose I can take some another example which has been given towards the end of this particular slide. Suppose I am doing x equal x by y, result equal to x by y, and y is the value which is I am passing by mistake at 0. Okay, it would go into the infinity. We know it in mathematics, it's known as infinity. You are not allowed to divide some value by 0. But in programming, my program won't understand automatically. No, it is an infinity, it is not allowed, etc. So I can execute this exception 0 division error, for example, and then it would give me that particular error as division by 0 is not allowed. So when such type of error handling you want to try, okay, then we execute the exception. Generally, whenever I used to teach the students, or wherever I'm teaching, I used to tell the students, we execute the programs to get the output in general without exceptions. But in exception handling, we execute the program to handle the errors or to get the errors. Okay. So here error is the output. And otherwise, whenever we write down the normal program, okay, there we speak, there we say that the output is the thing which I am expecting to be shown to my client or to my friend, okay, to whomsoever I'm showing the output. Okay, so common exception types are file not found error, 0 division error, value error, type error. So type error is something like data type. I am expecting the output in the integer, but I'm passing string. Okay, how come I will get the output in integer? It is really not possible. Then that time it is type error. Okay, so there are different types of exceptions. The exceptions can be executed manually. I meant to say the exceptions that are system defined and user defined. Do you remember the functions? You may not remember. I don't know whether you have watched those the recordings or not. I have taken that particular part. Okay, so there are system defined functions and user defined functions. So here also there are two types of exceptions: system defined exceptions and user defined exceptions. Okay, so here you can see except file not found error. So this is system defined, fine, but there are user defined exceptions also, which are known as the custom exception classes. Okay, so here assign grade if score less than 0 or greater than 100. Okay, obviously if I'm talking about score, and if I'm saying the marks are to be calculated out of 100, then obviously they have to be greater than 0 and less than equal to 100. Actually, there should be something like if score less than 0 and greater than 100, okay, raise invalid graded error. So this is invalid graded error is something like custom exception class or custom exception, or with the user defined exception. Okay, now we are coming to the modules and the packages. Fine, so we have talked about the math module. Do you remember? And we had talked about import math, math.sqrt, math.py. Even there are executing, if you don't want to write down the code for factorial, okay, or if you don't want to write down the code for the Fibonacci series, okay, and you want to use the ready-made function, okay, then that time we can execute it using such type of built-in modules. Sys, even OS, okay, both of them have been given simultaneously. So they are like whenever you want to change the directory, you want to create a new directory. So something like that, or whenever you want to, we had talked about this sys module, argv, at the time of functions. Okay, I had told you this. You can watch the recording whenever possible for you, whenever you get time. So even sys.version, so there we are talking about sys and OS. modules. Okay, you can have your built-in modules also. So math underscore utils.py, and you can execute this square and cube. You can use the lambda function also along with it. I had taken this lambda function. Okay, here we are using math-util. So math-util.square. So current directory, maybe install packages, maybe environment paths. Okay, all these things can be taken care of. This init.py actually, this I meant to say underscore init underscore. This is nothing but the constructor, okay, which is used in the object-oriented programming, and there also we can talk about creating our package. Okay, actually, you will not understand looking at this particular slide. It's a very, I just took one session for one of the abroad students, okay, and it took 3 hours to teach this particular concept, okay, but fine, never mind, you can do it on your own by searching it on Google. That's not a problem at all. So you can create a package, okay, and that particular executable can be created by you, okay, and then that can be given to your client, because you don't expect that your client will have Python installed in their machine, MySQL installed in their machine, and then you will be executing those Python programs, whatever you have developed for them as a part of their business, for their business, okay, as a part of your internship. So don't expect that all these things would be there in their machine, okay. You need to create the package, and you need to give it to your client, and only they will execute that executable file, okay. Now we are coming to the object oriented programming. So object oriented programming talks about these 4 we can say the features that are very important. That is, I told you in the beginning, we have used up till now the structured programming. But object-oriented programming is another paradigm which talks about the reusability, which talks about the states and behavior. So it promotes the modular and reusable programs. Okay. Here it talks about abstraction, modularity, reusability, and maintainability. Out of that modularity, I had told you again at the time of functions when I taught you. If you remember, I had taken that main menu program, which is containing 4 different operations, that is addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction, and then how there is a need of having the modularity in the program that I had told you all. Okay, so this is something like modularity, which is implementable using OOPS concepts, okay, using objects, okay. So here it's written like this. So we need to give here, if you have done maybe Java or C++, you must be knowing what is a class and how to create the object of that particular class, and then how to give the different methods, okay. So this is the constructor we are talking about, and here we are talking about this particular method, okay, def display, okay, and we are trying to display the name of that particular person, whichever we are passing here, and the roll number also, fine. So this is general syntax of the object oriented program. So here this particular program is written. The student S1 is the object that is created for the class student. The name is passed as Arohi and the roll number is passed as 101. Okay, they are the parameters we can say, or the arguments, and we are executing this particular method. Here we don't say the word as function. Here we say the word as method, or the term as method. Okay, so I hope you are getting it. I really don't expect, because you will need a lot of practice. So you will, I know you will practice very well. You all are very brilliant students, so not an issue at all. Okay, so you can do it on your own. So, and obviously you will be watching the recordings also. So what are the different methods? The methods is a function defined within a class, okay? Or function is, it can be a task, okay, designed to operate on instances of that particular class. So this is the class circle, where area is the definition of the function, and return 3.14 sorry into self.radius to the power 2. Okay, so init constructor is a special initializer automatically executed when a new object is created. Fine. So here you can see the class circle where init constructor has been given and two parameters are passed. Self is required to be passed and R. Okay, R is as the argument for calculating the circle. If it is the rectangle's area, then it will be L and B. If it is the square's area, okay, then that would be side. Okay, so self dot radius equal to R and def area cell, and then we are calculating it. So these are the different features which are executed. Inheritance talks about the superclass and subclass, or the parent class and the child class. The child class inherits all the methods and the objects from the parent class. So here you can see vehicle as the main class, parent class, and car as the child class. Okay, and car here vehicle is written here. The parameter is not passed. The parameter is passed as a class name. Fine. So here you can see the inheritance. But when you talk about the encapsulation, here we can see that bank account is the one which is the class. We are talking about self.balance equal to balance, which is a private variable has been given. And we are saying that get balance. Okay. We are executing this particular method. Here we are talking about the polymorphism, that is allowing the same interface to behave differently for different classes. So we are talking about the dog as the class and the cat as another class. They both speak, but their style of speaking is different. One is barking and other is doing meow. Okay. So, but here we are talking about the animal sound, and the animal is talking about here dog or cat. And whatever we pass, whether dog or cat, accordingly, print bark or printing of the meow would be done. Then we are coming to the various Python libraries. Okay. They are NumPy and Pandas mainly because they are the one easily reachable and you can do them on your own, or you can study from somebody. Okay. But yes, they are very useful. In addition to that, there is matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. What else? There are many more. Okay. For the machine learning, we are using scikit-learn, TensorFlow, for web development, Flask and Django, for automation, Selenium, and request visualization. I told you matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly, etc. Okay. Even this matplotlib can come here, visualization. Okay. And even all of them, matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly would go here in data science. Okay. And even they are playing an important role in machine learning also. Okay. So, and AI also for that matter. Fine. So they are the different use cases where these libraries are used, and these libraries you need to install by using pip install. Okay. What is the use of them? We need to understand the productivity, efficiency, scalability, and community support. Because why community support? Because this is free software. This is backed by, this is supported by Free Software Foundation. Okay. So that's why the community support we are giving and expecting. Okay. It is scalable. We can work. PySpark is also one of the thing. Whenever you talk about the big data and all, okay, you can execute all those programs, MapReduce program using Python. Okay, and you can execute PySpark as you can use the PySpark as a library. You can execute it using or install it using pip install. Okay. So I spoke to you about this NumPy. I spoke to you about the libraries. Now NumPy is for creating the arrays and vectorize operation. So whatever is not possible in list, okay, it's possible in NumPy. Again, NumPy is versatile in such a way that it is mutable. It is zero dimensional. It can be zero dimensional array or it can be the 3-dimensional array. We can create the X, how we create X, Y, and Z axis. Okay. So we can have them 2 by 2 or 3 by 3 values. So I hope you have done matrix in your now college life, in your mathematics, or in the school. I mean to say 9th and 10th standard or 8th, 9th, 10th standard. Okay. So how you used to create the matrix? It is possible to do it by using NumPy because that is giving us the solution for the count vectorizer and all whenever you are doing the machine learning, sentiment analysis, and many more such things. Okay, so this NumPy plays very important role over there. Then there is one more library which is very important and which you can learn very easily, which I told you in the beginning when I spoke to you all about the file handling. Okay, you need to use that particular file. For example, I'm going to write down import pandas as PD. I will need to install it first. Okay, pip install pandas on the command prompt or pip install numpy on the command prompt. Okay, and then I'm going to write it down pd dot read underscore csv, and in the double quotes wherever that csv file is present, that path and the csv file's name. So all these things are possible. Or here the data, whatever has been given of Asha and Ravi, it's been given in the hard-coded manner. Okay, so that is a possibility. Yeah, we spoke about this math library already. I don't have to tell you again. Fine. Yeah, dead time library is very important. Can anybody tell me where the dead time library is very useful? Can anybody please let me know? Where is the dead time library is useful? Have you used this before, dead time library?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If suppose you want to find out your age, okay, and you are using pandas. Now you don't know pandas, I know. If you know it already, I don't mind at all. Okay. And if suppose you have got the example as say roll number, name, and your age. Okay. So roll number is say 101, name is say XYZ, and age is say 19. Okay. Is it possible that each year your age would be 19 only? No, right? Next year it will be 20, next to next year it will be 21. So giving age is wrong and giving birth date is correct. Okay. So give the birth date there. Okay. And you can find out the age from the current date, today's date. So today's date is 36, that is, I mean to say 30 June, okay, 2025. Okay. And suppose you are born in 2004, assuming you are 19 years old. Okay. No, sorry, 2006. Okay, for that matter. If you are 21 years old, then 2004, whatever. Fine. Then whether you are born in 2004 or 2006, then if you want to find out the age, whether 19 or 21, you can find out the difference between the two dates. Why we do need it? Because giving the age is wrong. Why did I say that? Because every year or every day, our age is changing. Okay, by +1, +1, +1, and so on. So there, the date time is, this date time library is very, very important to work upon. Okay, so there the date time plays very important role. So please keep it in mind. whenever you are going to create the data set, or whenever you are going to get the data set from somebody, or whenever you want to get the data set from someone, and you are creating a Google form and you want that data to be entered by them, don't give their age as the column. Give there the date of birth as the column. So that date of birth would be entered by the person, say YYYY-MM-DD. And then you can calculate that, you can get that particular data set. You can calculate the age by saying today's date, whatever the current time or current today. Here, see, you can see today function. Today minus that birth date, whatever you have taken. That will be the perfect age of that particular person. So such type of things have to be used wherever you are going to develop the software, maybe using tkinter SQL along with pandas and all. Okay. So there, so this is something like date time, import date time and time delta, and date time dot now shows you today's date and time. Okay. And future would be now plus time delta days equal to 7. So plus 7 days would get added. In the same manner, you can do minus also. Then there is matplotlib to, now it would be difficult for me to tell you this theoretically, but never mind. So this matplotlib or maybe Seaborn or maybe Plotly, okay, they are executed, okay, for the visualization. But you have to have the data using pandas and or maybe in CSV file or maybe Excel sheet, and you can plot the chart. Okay. Yes, you can plot the chart in this manner. Okay. Then there is debugging and testing, which is very important. So wherever you want that to remove the bugs, okay, that is testing, which is very important. Okay. Then that time we are using the library as import pdb. Okay, and we can find out set trace. So we can find out the errors, step-by-step execution, breakpoints, etc. Okay. Writing the unit test with unit test. So unit test also one of the, that's what I told you before some time. I have taken this particular topic for 3 hours. Unit test with debugging and creating a support for the client. Okay. So it is a lot of many steps are there actually. Okay. So you need to learn them, because when you are going to develop a software for somebody, that's what I told you, that you are not going to give, you don't expect that they will have Python in their machine or they will know how to execute the Python program. Why would they know? They are good in their business. You are good in development. So you need to give them the executable. Okay. But giving that executable is possible after testing the software that has been developed by you, and then you can give it to them. So for that, we need to have import. We need to import the unit test as the library or the module. Okay. And then we use their assert equal as the function or the method. So that is also the part of this which I spoke to you just now. That's it from my end. Okay. So in the summary, we can say that we have learned really many things today, or you must have heard about the lot of things today, and they are nothing but what all things we did: the file handling, then we spoke about the exception handling, then we spoke about object-oriented programming, modules and packages, okay, different libraries, which I told you, and debugging and testing. That's it from my end. I hope you don't have any doubts, and I hope you would do well in your life. Wish you all the best. Coordinators, please continue. I'm done with the session. Are there any doubts? You can write them down in the chat. Okay, so no doubts? At least write down no. Or if there are many doubts, then write down many. No problem. At least if there are many doubts, then you will learn the things more. Thank you. Thank you, Yamuna. Okay, coordinators, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the lecture. You can kindly stop the sharing. I'll share my screen. Thanks. Yeah, is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, thanks for the confirmation. So good evening once again to all learners. With this completion of the final lecture, just now, we covered lecture 14. We now formally draw this course to a close. CS 1010, Introduction to Programming with Python, was designed with the objective of providing say fundamental exposure to computational thinking and problem solving through Python programming language. Across the modules, we saw the journey from basic constructs to functions, classes, exceptions, modular design, wherein equipping learners like you all, 758 learners overall with tools, not just for coding, but we also made you all equipped for structured thinking. So on behalf of the Finessefleet Foundation, I extend my sincere appreciation to all 758 learners enrolled into this course, of whom a significant number of learners remained constantly and consistently active throughout the course. Your dedication is both admired and acknowledged. In furtherance of the same, I take this opportunity to begin by expressing our sincere gratitude to the student volunteers whose consistent support have been invaluable throughout the duration of this course. Their effort in content coordination, communication, and backend facilitation have played a vital role, as you all know, and that has enhanced the experience of all other participants throughout. I further, with this slide, place on record our deepest gratitude to the teaching assistant for this course, Ms. Syeda, Faaiza, Afreen, whose diligence and academic support have been instrumental in ensuring the continuity of the learner engagement. And a very special thanks to Dr. Madhavi Vaidya, instructor for this course, and also an independent researcher in computer science, corporate trainer, and former associate professor at VSC Mumbai, for her commitment to accessible, high quality instruction and contributing voluntarily for this course throughout. We also, through my next slide, I acknowledge the guidance of our honorary head, ECS, the director, Finessefleet Foundation, and the chairperson, Finessefleet Foundation, and all collaborators and volunteers associated with this course, whose vision and academic leadership have shaped this initiative in a proper and fulfilled way. Now, I'd like to give you a quick statistics. Total, we have 758 enrollment for this course, wherein active participants of approximately 500 learners and dropout of 1 learner. In furtherance, I'd be now be open the floor for any final question, reflection, or feedback from learners. You may feel free to raise queries regarding any topic in the course or the forthcoming assessment. We'll be waiting for a minute for the same. Feel free to open the microphone and speak up. Okay, so it seems let's call a few names and see if you all can, if you all have any question. So first of all, I'd like to go ahead with Yamuna. Are you there, Yamuna? Do you have any queries or any question?
No, sir.
Okay. How's your overall feedback to this course?
Yes, so it was a nice lecture, and we have learned a lot about this program. And we just want to know that what are your future programs, or you are providing any other courses like this, sir?
Surely. I'll cover that in the future forthcoming lectures. Next, to go ahead, Rishika, do you have anything you would like to speak up? Okay, let's move ahead. Roshan, would you like to provide your feedback for the same, or do you have any further queries?
Sir, thank you for providing this course, sir.
Yes, welcome, most welcome. Further, okay, so now we discussed with couple of students. Now, if you all have any further queries or want to discuss anything, please feel free to mail us or drop via the chat box. We'd be happy to take up the things and address those. Now, moving to the formal closure, the final assessment is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, 9th of July 2025, around late evening. The time would be intimated through proper channel shortly, comprising objective type questions with a maximum score of 100. And as mentioned earlier, specific details will be communicated shortly via official course channel. Now, I'd like to walk you through some roles into the industry that you all may expect, and this course will lead as the foundational ground of these roles. First, I'd like to go with full stack developer. It's a very broad job role and it has highest demand. In addition, data scientist, data analyst with added knowledge of data science, data engineer, then IoT engineer, AI engineer with added knowledge of AI ML, and much else. Then, so as you all would like to know more about future courses, so please stay tuned and follow our channels, newsletters, and our website. And you will be getting to know more about our upcoming initiatives in the coming days. So as we conclude today, it's important to reaffirm that this foundation upholds the highest standards of academic integrity and remains committed to delivering inclusive and rigorous educational programs We look forward to continuing such initiatives in the forthcoming months across multiple disciplines. I personally wish you all the best to perform into the final assessment and score well, learn everything well, and moreover understand topics in a depth and detailed manner. And always, I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Hope you all will succeed the way you all would like to explore. So with that, thank you for being a part of this learning journey. I look forward to see you all for the final assessment, tentatively scheduled on 9th of July 2025. Thank you. Have a good day to you all.